Hello people and welcome to a new video. In this video we'll be doing a little bit of brush up on the basics of backend of website development. So we'll be doing this by creating our very first Django app. So you'll need an internet connection to download Python as well as Anaconda. I'll link my video in the description where I have given you the install notes on installing Python as well as Atom text editor, which we'll be using in this video. And there is something new that is called as Anaconda. So go ahead and go to this link. Again, both the links will be in the description. If you scroll down, you'll find the download button. So go ahead and download all both of this. Then go to your downloads folder. And again, so the installation guide for these two will be in the description. So go ahead and watch that video. And in order to install Anaconda, you can just click on the setup. Just click on next, I agree, next, and just set your path and click on next and it will start installing. I'm not going to do that because I have done it already. And this is the space will be around 3 GB. So if you have that much space, go ahead and install Anaconda, or there is something else that is called as Miniconda. So you'll find that in the website itself. So go ahead and download Miniconda if you don't have enough space requirements. So once you're done with installing all the three, you can go ahead and click on or open your command prompt, from where you have to install pip as well as Django. So for the people who have running Python for the first time, go ahead and click pip install pip. And hit enter. I guess I have already installed pip, so it'll say me requirement has been already satisfied, and currently my version is 20.1 right now as the time of the video. Then you can go ahead and install Django, that is by doing pip install Django and hit enter again. I have already downloaded it, so it's gonna say requirement is already satisfied. So that's it for the CMD part. Now we're going to jump into our text editor. So first up, inside my terminal, if you have followed my previous video, I have already showed you how to install the platform UID terminal, which I'll be using here. So first up, I'm going to cd back to my main directory, that is web dev files, and I'm going to create a directory. I'll call it as Django stuff, and hit enter. Then cd back to Django stuff. Let me do that quickly. And inside, I'm gonna first up create a virtual environment. So for the people who don't know what a virtual environment is, or why you need a virtual environment, basically when you're an app creator, you want your apps or projects to be dynamic. That is, it should be able to work on other systems as well. So virtual environment does a simple thing, that is, it runs its own set of requirement and versions of the packages that Django will require for that system. So you can do it without the virtual environment also, but it's better to have a virtual environment than, it's a good practice to have it if you're a proper web developer. So in order to do that, there is another command, which is conda create space hyphen name, and then you can put the name, any name over here. I'm going to give this thing, and you can end it up using Django. So this is the command for creating a new virtual environment, and you'll need Anaconda just to create a virtual environment. So if you don't want to install Anaconda and create a virtual environment overall again, you can just skip this part if you want to. So it says a Conda environment already exists, so I'm gonna say N and close it, but you can just say Y and start doing and create your virtual environment. And in order to activate it, there is a simple command again, that is activate your virtual environment name, and hit enter. So as you can see, my virtual environment name is in the brackets over here, which means I'm currently using my virtual environment. So first up, let me just open my project folder over here. That is, I believe, inside my web dev files. I'm going to select that folder. Currently there's nothing inside it, so let's just start by making our very first project. So in order to do that, you have a simple command, that is Django -admin space start project, and then your project name. I'm gonna call it project 1 for now. And as soon as you hit enter, you'll have your project 1 over here, and inside your project 1 you'll have files such as settings.py, urls.py, and other stuffs. I'm going to tell you what all these are in a while, but first up, the only thing we'll be working with right now is this manage.py, which is used to make migrations, as well as creating your super user or running your server or going inside shell. I mean, you'll know what I'm talking about in a while. So first up, as soon as you create your project, make sure you have made all the migrations. So in order to do that, the command is python manage.py and migrate, and hit enter. Okay, so first I need to cd into my project 1 and then do the same command again, python manage.py migrate, and it's going to migrate all the stuffs. So once you're done with that, you can go ahead and create a super user. So in order to do that, again, it's the same command. Let me now type it over again. So I'm going to say python manage.py create super user, hit enter, and I'm going to name it. Then you can also give your email address and passwords if you want, and it's going to say created super user successfully. So in order to test if our app has properly worked, I'm going to run my server that is doing the same thing over again. So python manage.py run server, hit enter, and it's going to give you this particular link which you can copy from here and paste it inside any of the browsers which you want. So I'm going to paste it over here, and yes, the install works successfully. Congratulations. So this is a Django's web page to show you that your website is working properly, and you can just go ahead and make changes, put your HTML inside it, and just start working on it. Okay, so in order to test that if your super user has actually worked, you can just go ahead and put in a slash and click admin, and you will be inside your Django administration page. So before this it'll ask you to log in by putting in your username as well as your password. So you can just click on that and start using. And I hope you would have seen that I have created my super username as Trish17, and it's over here. So that has worked properly. Now, I mean, we don't need our website to just show this. So we'll put in our HTML. So in order to do that, we need to create our app, make changes to our models.py as well as our views.py. Then we have to map our URL. So I'll show you in a little while. Okay, so in order to see our HTML, the first thing which you're going to do is create a new file inside your project 1 and name it views.py. And inside that views.py, we're going to import a Django module that will be from Django.http import HTTP response. And after that, we're going to create a function. Let's call it as home, and we'll pass in the parameter or argument to be return, or I guess it was request. And inside our function we'll have a return of HTTP response, and inside this we'll give in our h4 or heading 4 tag, and let's just call it home. Close in our h4, save that, and once you have saved that, we need to map the URL of this particular py file. So now to do that, go to your urls.py. If you scroll down, you will find URL patterns over here, but before that we need to map this function over there, so or import this function over there. So I'm going to say from space dot views, that is our views.py file. So from dot views I'm going to import my function, which was, I guess, home. Let me just quickly recheck it. Yes, it's home, and hit enter. And inside my URLs pattern, depends upon which version you're using it. So if you're using a version that has URL, I mean, you need to use it with your regular expressions, but the version which I am using is with path. So I'm going to say path, and my path will be nothing for right now. I'm going to hit a comma and call my function over there. That'll be home. So I'm going to save that, and in order to see if that has worked, I'm going to run my server again. So it says, okay, I missed the comma here because it is a list. So you should have a good knowledge on Python syntax as well. So I'm going to hit the comma there, save it, and copy my link, paste it inside Edge. And the reason why I'm using Microsoft Edge instead of Mozilla is, I'll tell you in a while. So I'm going to just paste this thing here, and as you can see, the h4 tag is over here, and I'm going to do the same thing right now inside my Mozilla Firefox. And if I paste it over here, you see I'm getting a blank page, but if I select this part, you can see home is there. I don't know the reason why this happens with Mozilla as well as Chrome. If you guys know the reason, please let me know in the comment section below. So usually I use Microsoft Edge in order to test my Django's project if it is actually working. So I mean, right now it was that's it with the project part. Now we're going to create our very first app. Okay, so in order to make your first app, there is a simple command called as python manage.py start app, and then you can just name anything for your app. So I'm going to call it apply for now, because I don't want to make any complex names over here. So as you can see, you have your applications over here. So first up, what you're going to do is go inside your settings.py, which is inside your projects folder. If you scroll down, you will find installed apps over here. So you can just put in your app name over here, put a comma, and save that, so your app is registered inside your installed apps. And then you're going to close that, and then go inside your models.py. As you can see, you already have models imported, but if it is not imported, you can just say from Django.db import models. So next up, you're going to create a class. We'll call it blogs, and inside blogs I'm going to have, of course, models dot model. So, and the people who have worked with Python know what I'm currently doing right now. So if you have a class, and inside the class I'm going to create a small title for our page, and that'll be a text field. So models dot text field, which is a function. So I'm going to save that, and once you're done with that, you need to initialize your database. So in order to do that, you can go to python manage.py shell, which is going to open your Python shell, and currently your Python version is 3.8.1. I need to update it. Right. So next you're going to call from apply.models models, that is your application's name, and inside your applications you have models.py file. So from apply.models, import your class name, that was blogs. I'm going to hit enter, and first up we're going to create our object. So let's just call it obj for now with a double J, because I already have a J in the project that I'm previously working with. So I'm going to call objj equals to our class blocks. So this will initialize our object to the class. I'm going to hit enter, and here if I want to make any changes to our title, I'm going to do that. So obj, that is our object dot title, will be equal to, let's just say, or for now I'm gonna hit enter, and I'm gonna save it so I can be able to see it, or it will be visible in the database. So I'm gonna do obj.save. Okay, let's make the changes inside our database itself. So I'm going to exit out of my shell for now, and then go inside my admin.py file, and here you'll see that you already have django.contrib import admin, but if it is not there, again just go ahead and type it, and then I'm going to say from dot models, that is our models.py file, I'm going to import my blogs, that is our class. And over here I'm going to register my model, that will be admin.site.register, and inside this I'll have my class name, that is blocks. So this is how you register your class or your models inside your admin files. And before you do that, just make sure you put in your migrations again. I have not done that, so let me quickly do it. Python manage.py migrations, that is make migrations, and again the another one will be migrate. So all the migrations will be applied once you make changes to your models, and make sure every time you make change to your models.py file, you run both these commands, that is python manage.py.make migrations as well as migrate. So right now I'm going to run my server, and I'll show you that if I have, where did that go? Yeah, so I'm going to run our server, and let's see if our class has been successfully initialized. So I'm going to say python manage.py run server, hit enter. Over here we'll have our link, which I'm going to paste in my edge, paste and go, and here you have your home button. Now to see that, you'll have to go inside your admin, and so this is what it's going to ask you to log in for when you're doing it for the first time. So I'm going to log in, and here you have your applications called as blocks. I hope you can see. Can I zoom in? Yes, there you go. You have your apply, and that is your application. Inside here you have blocks. You have 0 blocks right now. I mean, you can do that inside your shell as well, but that was not working for me. So I'm going to add a block over here, and if you remember, we put in our title. So I can have title called as, and save it. So right now I'll have one title object that will be Timmy Django over there. So that's it. That's how you create your first app, and I guess there will be another video on this where you will be actually putting in a HTML file out of Bootstrap and pasting it, not just having something called as if I can go back. So we won't just have home over here, we'll have a proper HTML file like a form or something. So that will be in the next video. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Stay in, stay safe, happy quarantine, and make sure you subscribe.